Yeah, it seems like I'm always fighting something with the weather, you know. It's always something. You know, up to now, we've had very mild weather for this time of year. But just because it's mild, it doesn't mean it's nice out. I mean, in some cases, in a lot of cases this year, I would have rather had cold and snow and sunshine because it's been so miserable. The drizzle, all kind of day kind of drizzle, and fog, thick fog everywhere. It was really miserable. So, and of course, the ice fishermen aren't very happy at all because you can't get out on the lakes, most of the lakes, anyways. Although some people will scramble out onto lakes with an inch thick ice, and actually white ice, not hard thick or hard clear ice. It's nuts. I mean, yeah, I read the story in the news recently about the family went through the ice, mother, father, and little kid. Yeah, imagine bringing your kid out on the ice like that. I don't know if they did walk out in the ice because I thought they went out there in a car, but maybe they went out by accident or something. I'm not sure. I didn't get the whole story, but yeah, every year it happens. People going through the ice. And, you know, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it, you know? Because to me, it's not worth it. It's not even worth the risk when there's 3 feet thick of ice out there. At least you think there is, because the ice on a lake is never even all the way through the lake. It might be 3 feet one place, and it might be go down to maybe an inch or less even in some places. You know, so yeah, it just boggles my mind how stupid people can be. Just to catch a fish or whatever they're doing, flying across the ice on their snowmobiles. It just boggles my mind. Anyways, a lot of things boggle my mind. It doesn't matter. They still do it, and they'll still do it as long as they can. Anyways, yeah, I'm up here pretty high, as you can see, but the wind is blowing. I mean, I'm so disappointed. You know, it's so disappointing sometimes because I go out, especially to do a certain thing. Like today, I came out specifically to fly my drone because I looked at the weather forecast and it looked like the winds were going to be reasonable to fly. But you can't trust anything on the weather forecast. I just get tired of saying the same old thing over and over again, you know, because it doesn't change anything. And it really doesn't do any good to get upset about it either. But, you know, I mean, I put a lot of work into this, and that's why I'm upset. It's not easy getting up to places like this. Anyways, it is what it is. Tomorrow, it was supposed to be sunny. Yesterday they said tomorrow is Saturday. It's supposed to be sunny. Now when I got up this morning, oh, all of a sudden it's cloudy all day, overcast. I mean, what kind of weather forecasting is that? These people shouldn't get paid. They should be all fired. Just put up the satellite shot and the weather radar and stuff like that for people to look at themselves and make up their own mind, because it's just as good anybody making up their own mind what it's going to be like as the weather forecasters who have some kind of special meteorological degree or whatever they get. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like when I was in work and I used to make all these rough drawings up and make custom parts and all that stuff, and I'd have to bring it into the engineer who would put it through a computer machine to make it look a professional blueprint, and then put his name on it or her name on it, whatever it was. We had female engineers too, but just because they have a piece of paper saying that they can do that kind of stuff, they didn't do any of the work. I did all the work. It's just the same when I went to get my broken arm fixed too. There was like it was a triage area where there was 5 or 6 people at the same time in the room, this big room, and there was one doctor in there who was the doctor I had an appointment with, and there's a number of medical staff, nurses and stuff. And I got a male nurse, and he's the one that did all the work on my arm, and he did a fantastic job. The doctor didn't do anything except be a pain in the ass. Yeah. So, you know, that's how our world operates. It's, you can call it unfair, but it doesn't, unfair doesn't matter really, you know. Just like who was it? Clint Eastwood said at the end of one of his, or close to the end of one of his movies. What did he say? Deserve. Yeah, he said deserve has nothing to do with it. You know, and it's true. Deserve doesn't. Nobody deserves anything really in this life. So you can't really say, oh, that person didn't get what they deserve, because deserve has nothing to do with it, whether it's for good or for bad. You know. Yeah, it's just the way life is, just like I was explaining on my last blog post about, being lucky, luck has a lot to do with how life works out for a person. But what really is luck? You could say the same thing about reality. What is reality? Like, I call myself a realist, but, well, that's I don't like calling myself anything, to be honest with you, but I think that's the best description of what I am. I'm a realist and I'm an explorer. They describe me, what I do and what I am. But, anybody could come along and say, well, what's a realist, or what's an explorer, or what's this and what's that? Everybody, that's the way people are anyways, Life is crazy sometimes. Yeah. You just have to get as much enjoyment out of it as you can. That's what I always do. Get as much enjoyment out of this life as I can. And I've done a great job, really, a great job. I'm very, very pleased with the life I've had and the life I still have. I enjoy being up here. A lot of people come up here just because maybe they figure the cost of living is lower. And it was lower when I first got here. It certainly was. And it probably still is a little bit than being in some big cities. But if you're coming up here just because the cost of living is lower, boy, you're going to be disappointed, because the only reason you want to be up here, or anybody would want to be up here, is because they love the outdoors, like me. Otherwise, what happens is you end up sitting inside. That's what they do. All these people that come up here, they don't really care about the outdoors. They sit inside all goddamn day and do nothing. What a life. Is that the way you want to retire? It's not the way I want to retire. I came here for one reason and one reason only. And that's because I love the wilderness and all the small lakes and everything around here. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I've been out to the East Coast. I've been out to the West Coast. Very nice places to see and explore there, but I would never want to live in either place. And my goodness, you can, even right now, you can look at the West Coast and everything they're dealing with, from fires to whatever is going on there now. And then the East Coast, the weather they're having there right now is horrific. So, everybody wants to be close to the ocean or something like that. I don't know. But both those places, the West Coast and the East Coast, are very exposed to the environment. So if something big happens, it's going to hit them hard. Whereas out here in the middle of the Ontario Northland, it's pretty, well, we get storms and everything, but nothing as severe as they get out on the coasts. Anyways, yeah, I'm just babbling on here. I sort of killing time to see if that wind is going to die down, but I don't know if it is. Because what happens is it'll die down a little bit, then I'll get the drone in the air, and all of a sudden it'll pick up. Yeah. You'll read in the beginning of this blog post, I've already started the blog post because I was doing it, like I say, about flying the drone. And I finally figured out how to get my drone working properly again. But it wasn't an easy process. I'm explaining it in the beginning of this blog post. But yeah, so now that I have it working correctly again, I was hoping to fly it today. Of course, hope it doesn't matter either. Hope for anything doesn't matter. But yeah, I can only do what the current environment will allow me to do. You see, right now it's fairly calm, but like I say, if I put the drone up, the wind will pick up. Anyways, this is a long video, so I'll just shut it down now, and then I'm going to go higher up on the cliff here and see if I can fly the drone. But I doubt it, because I can hear wind.